I feel like I see a lot of people giving up too early because it's too hard. And the thing is, it's, if it were easy, everybody would do it. For example, starting a business or, really growing your business. If it were easy, don't you think that every single person would do it, right? Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to give you guys 3 tips on how you can make your 2019 the best and most successful that it can be. Now, these tips come from my personal experience and some things that I also want to do for myself or apply for myself based on my experiences throughout the last years and reflecting on the last years, what I know that really don't bring me any positive results and just bring negativity into my life. So these are things that you should either start doing or stop doing, etc. Just 3 little tips that I think can really make a huge difference to your everyday life and bring you closer to that happy and successful life that we all desire to have, right? So without any further ado, let's go. The number 1 thing is to not take things personally. And I need to repeat this to myself over and over again. And I hope that in 2019, I can really be better at this. So I've already improved myself a lot in this area. So if I get negativity or negative comments, for example, on my YouTube channel, not once have I gotten one that really brought me down at all. I don't take those things personally. I think it's hard to take things personally if I don't know a person personally. Let's put it at that. What I still have difficulty with is more hearing feedback, positive feedback even, from loved ones and people who are very close to me. I think positive feedback or being able to discuss with each other in a close relationship with your friends, family, or in your romantic relationship is very important. And with that belongs, listening and hearing to feedback, which you might not always be very receptive towards, especially me. And I know I can take things very personally as well. And there are other feedbacks that I might get sometimes that I first might take a little bit personally. The fact of the matter is that most things said to you, 99% of the time, I would say, it's not meant personally in a negative way. So this is a little bit of a hard thing, I think, to explain. I mean, of course, when you receive feedback, it is meant towards you. And feedback you should obviously always take receptively and with an open heart. Sometimes it's hard to draw the line between feedback and judgment, and I understand that. And often the first reaction is that feedback would be judgment as well, and you start to reflect upon yourself and think that you're doing something wrong or you're not good enough, etc. And really, this doesn't bring you anything good in your life if you take every feedback that you get as judgment and you take it personally and you get negative feelings out of that. It's time to learn to listen to, even if it's judgment, even if it's basically meant as judgment, it's time to listen to those things as feedback and reflect upon yourself if you feel like that is something that you can or need to or even want to change in order to grow as a person, or then completely ignore it and say, okay, I heard you, thank you, but no thank you, basically, and move on and stop taking things personally and stop letting them affect your mood and your emotions too much. I know it brings my life too much negativity when I take things way too personally as a negative feedback towards myself, as negative judgment, when in fact most things are just not personal and are just meant to be positive feedback. And you have to understand, like, how are you ever going to grow and get to that next level if you don't have loved ones and people around you who are there to help you notice in what areas you could still level up, perhaps. Obviously, also, if it comes from strangers, the more important it is to really not take those things personally. I feel when you get such feedback or judgment from people who really don't know you, is quite dangerous to take it all personally, because if they don't know you, how can they really give that to you? Now, again, take everything openly and receptively, but it's better not to take it personally because it's just going to waste your time, your emotions. I know myself, if I get if I let my head get stuck to such a negative comment from somebody, it really takes up a lot of my time actually, because I'm just like fixating on this one negative thing that someone may have said to me, and taking it too personally is just really wasting my time. So that would be my first little tip that I know I want to give to myself, which is really something I want to improve upon in 2019, is stop taking things way too personally. I also give loved ones feedback. I don't mean it in a negative way. It comes from love and it's not meant to hurt anybody. So I need to trust that that's not what anybody is trying to do for me either. So let's go on to the second tip, and that is to do the hard things and persevere. I think the word persevere here is extremely important, because I know I can definitely be someone who starts doing the hard things, but sometimes perseverance is very hard, especially if it feels like this rubber which just keeps stretching and stretching, and feels like a never-ending hard task that's taking up your energy. Now, of course, again, there's a fine line on when you should perhaps give up on a project or task or anything, and when you should persevere, and only you can know when is it time to give up, when is it time to move on, and not think about this hard task that you have set yourself upon or which you have been given. However, the way things change in your business, in your personal life, I feel like you have to do hard decisions and you have to do the hard things, and the hard things are the most difficult to begin. You keep procrastinating and leaving it to the side, and when it never gets done, you're going to realize that you're not getting to that next level where you want to get at in life. So it's so hard for you to just do the hard things, do the things that feel super uncomfortable, and start getting out of your comfort zone. And don't just give up, because it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel difficult for a while, perhaps. And so you need to persevere and get through that uncomfort and towards that success that you're looking for, towards that change that you're looking towards in your life or in your business. I feel like I see a lot of people giving up too early because it's too hard. And the thing is, it's, if it were easy, everybody would do it. For example, starting a business or, really growing your business. If it were easy, don't you think that every single person would do it, right? It is hard. So you do need to go through that uncomfortable time. You do need to do your all-nighters, perhaps. You do need to work really hard. You probably need to sacrifice a lot of things. I've sacrificed a lot, of course I have, for this business, whether that be friendship or family time or, even time in our relationship and everything. Of course I've had to sacrifice a lot, and it feels uncomfortable. And sometimes it feels like maybe I'm even moving backwards instead of forwards. But sometimes you probably even have to take a step backwards in some areas of your life in order for the whole big picture to get to that level where you want it to be. And of course, I don't know what's going to happen, and nobody will know. Nobody can say what the future is going to bring to you. But I do know that without change, without perseverance, you're not going to get to that next level. So decide now that you're going to do and make those hard decisions that you needed to make or you need to make, and you're going to persevere and not give up until you have pulled them through, until you have come to that place where you want to be. I feel like so many people just sort of give up when it gets hard, and then they start to complain that they're either stressed or they have too much to do or they have this and that. I mean, I notice that for myself as well. I can give up many excuses to say why I couldn't do it or why I can't do something, why I feel like I can't do something. And in the end of the day, as tough as this might sound, at the end of the day, they are mostly excuses. And yes, perhaps they are legitimate, and only you can decide whether that is the case or not. But with myself, I've decided that, I'm going to stop making these excuses just because it's hard. And this journey is going to be difficult sometimes. So I can't just be making excuses. I know what it means to be on this entrepreneur journey. So it comes with a lot of difficult decisions, and I'm not allowed to give up. I'm not allowed to say it's too hard or it's, takes too much effort or I'm not sleeping enough, etc. I mean, obviously health is your foremost important thing. Always remember that. But, don't let go too easy, you know, don't give yourself enough credit that you will know and learn how to take care of your health and yourself, as well as go through this hard, difficult phase of your project or of your life, you know? And this is definitely going to be something that I want to focus on in 2019. My final tip is that in 2019, don't be afraid to change. Now, this goes for me personally, like every single year, you know, I believe growth only comes from change, and I want to grow into the best possible version of myself that I can be, and who knows how long that's going to take. But every year, I'm sure there's always going to be growth that I can undertake, and that usually means change, you know? If you are embarking on a self-discovery journey or self-improvement journey, entrepreneurship, or anything, career-wise and anything, you really need to get that mindset that you are not afraid to change. You're ready for change. You're ready to learn new things. You're receptive of new ideas. And that comes with the willingness to sometimes be wrong. And I know that a lot of you are going to say that you are always willing to be wrong, or often, and myself included. I am and do feel like I definitely don't have an obsessive need to be right all the time. I know that 100%, but I also feel like if I have an idea in my head about how I see the world, how I see things, I've made perhaps a decision of something being the way it is, and when I hear something that counteracts upon that or doesn't really resonate with that, I get very defensive and kind of unwilling to perhaps be wrong about this. And really having an open mind and discussing things with the person who has perhaps presented you with this new idea on life or something is really the most eye-opening and refreshing thing, if you can just be willing to be wrong sometimes. You don't always have to be, and you aren't always. It's a discussion. Perhaps you're going to give the other person a new perspective on life or on how things are. But I've come to so many situations where, you know, it's been tough. You know, I've seen something the way it's been for so many years, and then that thought has been challenged. And the first and foremost reaction is always to protect my comfortable idea on that fact and not be willing to be wrong, not to be willing to be challenged by that. And really, that's what makes life exciting, I feel like, if you're willing to be wrong, if you're willing to be challenged by life. Of course, along with change, you also have to be willing to try out new things. So in 2019, make sure you're not just sitting still, you're not too comfortable. I know myself, I've come to the mindset that if I'm too comfortable for too long, you know, that starts to get uncomfortable. So I know it's time to start trying something new, something difficult, taking up on a new challenge or anything like that. So remember to always keep trying something new. And of course, always try to get out of your comfort zone, because in your comfort zone there is never any room for growth or change, and growth and change is really what is going to bring you to the next level in life, in your company, in, you know, anything you are embarking upon in your life. That was pretty much my video for today, and my little tips on how to make your 2019 the greatest ever, the most successful ever, especially in your personal life. I really hope that you guys did enjoy this video, and if you have any other tips or ideas, I would love for you to share them with us on the comments down below, and give this video a thumbs up if you did like it. Subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I'm super excited to see you guys in my next one. Until then, you guys, my mom.